in quotes. Ooh, sorry about that slavery thing. Several days ago, a majority of the U.S. House of Representatives approved a resolution apologizing for slavery. The Senate has not yet moved on such a measure and probably has no intention of doing so. That it comes today, some 143 years after slavery was prohibited in the Constitution, gives us some idea of how deeply slavery lay embedded in American consciousness, and how empty such an apology is in light of all that has intervened in the century and a half since the cessation of the Civil War. It's like robbing someone, growing fat and rich on stolen wealth, and then passing that person in the street who's now homeless, destitute, and hungry, and tossing them a nickel. Except in the case of the U.S. House resolution, there isn't even a nickel. As that great black historian J.A. Rogers taught us, the wealth of America was founded on African slavery. We need look no further than the brilliant young W.E.B. Du Bois, who published his doctoral thesis, The Suppression of the African Slave Trade to the United States of America, 1638 to 1870. For citing contemporary sources, Du Bois quoted as follows: "The number of persons engaged in the slave trade and the amount of capital embarked in it exceed our powers of calculation. The city of New York has been, until late 1862, the principal port of the world for this infamous commerce." Centuries of slavery, the intentional destruction of families, tribes, and nations, ripping people from their religions, their spouses, children, and all that they know and loved, for centuries, to build and enrich a nation of strangers, who enforced the practices of slavery for 100 years after its supposed abolition, only to consign the grandchildren of these people to the half-lives of poor education, second-rate health care, underemployment and unemployment, poor housing, the cruelties of mass imprisonment, and a cynical judicial and political system that believes in white supremacy without the labels. Yeah, a political apology should just about cover that. From death row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal. These commentaries are produced by Noel Hanrahan for Prison Radio.